From Galatea's ID switch to the surprising venue of the game that doesn't take place in the White Sand Street Asylum, there are several details that were quite surprising to me in the promotional video of Emil's hunter form, Herztier. Here in this video, we will dive deep into this promotional video, exploring some details that might give us some more clues about the game's lore, particularly Game 0. At the beginning of the video, we are shown Ada's experiment with Emil, along with his serial number, 012. This is quite unique because, so far, Ada has been treating Emil largely with hypnotherapy, and in the field of medicine, hypnotherapy does not involve oral medication. This suggests that the oral drugs given to Emil were a treatment method used during the Manor game. Furthermore, Emil already has his own serial number, which further suggests that he had already joined the Manor game. In what appears to be a laboratory, we can see 2 shackles hanging on the walls. This suggests that, by this point, Emil's condition had deteriorated so much that he needed to be restrained. Furthermore, Ada's second birthday letter mentioned the absence of security personnel. Realistically speaking, why would she need security? Was it to protect herself from Emil's manic episodes? Was it to restrain Emil during one of his outbursts? Or was it for something else? I guess time will tell. There are several reagents used by Ada, yet I could not figure out what they are or what effects they have. One of them, I guess, must be the Delphi extract, the one believed to alleviate psychological pain. In Emil's case, however, it makes him aggressive because it removes the fear and pain from his mind, allowing his dormant aggressive behavior to surface, since fear no longer restrains it. You can check the details in Herztier's design notes, as well as my previous video about Herztier, since we won't dive into that here. It appears that Darkwoods, or the Forest of No Return, will become the main venue of Game 0. For those of you who don't know yet, Darkwoods is a place located just outside Oletus Manor, which itself is located in Glasgow, Scotland. It used to be a peaceful forest when Alice de Ross was still a little girl. Both little Orpheus and Alice often played there during the day. This often made the forest protector, Bane, annoyed. However, life there was peaceful and happy. One day, however, Oletus Manor was raided by bandits, who used the woods as their entrance to ransack the manor. From that moment on, the woods became dark and were eventually called the Forest of No Return by the villagers. One thing that bugged me about Darkwoods being used as the venue of Game 0 is that, for a long time, the White Sand Street Asylum had been hinted to be the venue of this game. The clue can be traced back 4 years ago. In 2022, Galatea received her second birthday letter, and one of the details mentioned that a body had been cleaned up from the asylum. Now, the most well-known asylum in this game is White Sand Street Asylum, which is located in Devon, England. The question now is, why would they retcon it? I don't really mind the retcon. If it can make the overall story better, I'm all for it. But retcons, if anything, make theorizing to be such a frustrating work. Years of having the baseline assumption that the game took place in the asylum have now crumbled because of this new information. For me, in particular, this makes me feel discouraged from doing more lore analysis. The latest Q&A session gave us a very clear message about Galatea's ID switch. It will happen at some point after the showcase of Game 0, which is scheduled to be shown later this year. It has long been theorized that Galatea would receive an ID switch. Fans believed that she should receive one because, at the time of Game 0, she was still able to walk and even run. This was confirmed in both the Game 0 promotional video and the Herztier promotional video. The question, however, is whether she will receive a Hunter ID switch or a Survivor ID switch. From what I've observed on social media, this is still being debated. Those who believe Galatea will receive a survivor ID switch think it would be hard to imagine her receiving yet another hunter form. They believe that the Galatea we currently play, the one in the wheelchair, is the hunter version that appears after Game 0, while the Galatea shown during Game 0 would become her upcoming survivor form. On the contrary, there are also those who believe Galatea will receive another hunter form. This idea stems from the vague wording of the Q&A itself. One interpretation is that Galatea's ID switch happens after Game 0 in terms of the timeline. If that is the case, then if Galatea were to receive a survivor form, she would have to be in a wheelchair, which is difficult to imagine. As I write this script, the discussion is still ongoing. Personally, I lean toward the idea of Galatea receiving a survivor form. Still, whatever the outcome may be, I'll gladly enjoy it. This thing bugged me a lot because, all this time, we have been led to believe that Helena is visually impaired and struggles to move around without her cane. Even her gameplay reflects this. However, in Herztier's promotional video, we can see Helena running through the woods without her cane, even dodging obstacles with ease. One question that popped into my mind when I saw this scene was whether Helena was actually not visually impaired and could see normally. This, however, seems unlikely. Since the beginning of her story, Helena has always been described as visually impaired. Her overall backstory, even her personification throughout her events, all show that she is visually impaired. It would be quite awful if they changed Helena to no longer be visually impaired just because of Game 0. Still, why would she be able to run and dodge obstacles so perfectly in Herztier's promotional video? That is something I still cannot answer clearly. A lore theorist in the IDV Discord server suggested that perhaps Helena was so desperate that she dropped her cane somewhere. She might still be able to see objects that are very close to her, allowing her to turn and dodge obstacles. To me, this guess was quite reasonable and makes sense. But whatever the reason would be, for me, this is an interesting detail to notice. Near the end of Herztier's promotional video, we can see a pair of shackles dropped onto the ground, along with Emil sitting in what appears to be a flower field, before slowly disintegrating and vanishing into thin air. To me, this is quite a sad, yet bittersweet, symbol of Emil's fate. Emil has been struggling throughout his entire life. The moment he was born, he was shackled by poverty. Things did not help with the fact that he was the youngest in his family, making him the weakest among them. He never wished to be sold to others or to live a harsh life on the streets as a beggar. Yet there he was, shackled by poverty and by a dysfunctional family, leaving him with no freedom to choose his own life. Later on, he lived alongside dogs in a dog-fighting ring as a form of entertainment, unable to be free. Even after he was brought to the asylum and rescued by Ada, he was never truly free. In a sense, Emil became emotionally attached to Ada after everything they went through together in the asylum. In the promotional video, the shackles are dropped after a gunshot is heard. To me, this symbolizes that Emil had finally attained his freedom through his own death. Maybe, in the end, death was all that he needed to be free from all the suffering he had endured throughout his life. That's why, after the shackles are released, we can see Emil standing in a flower field that might represent paradise. After that, he slowly fades away, suggesting that he is finally free from everything, ready to move on from this world. Please note that this is only my own interpretation, so if you have a different one, feel free to share it in the comments. Again, I would recommend checking out my previous video about Herztier's lore if you would like some more context. I'm not sure if there are any more hidden details we can take from Herztier's promotional video, but if you noticed something that I missed, please share it with me in the comments so we can better understand the story together. Thanks for watching, and have a good day.